when I see there's a maybe there.
Okay.
But if there's a maybe, then it's a maybe. Yes, Africa still has the space, it has the people. It is the next place to be, and the world knows it. And now they're fighting for it.
Welcome back, everybody, to NorSpeaksOut. I'm Nor, and this channel, as you know, is all about African history and diaspora stories. And I'm really excited today. I have Uncle David with me today, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his story, his history, and his experiences moving from Uganda to the UK. So if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes.
And if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and then also where you were born and raised, please.
Thank you. I'll start saying the word. I'm happy I'm alive. I'm grateful to God to keep me alive. I'm so thankful to my family and friends, and you included, to give me that flair, that flat surface of where I can travel on in life. Yes, my name is David Lukani Odwar. I am a 46-year-old. My journey really began 1978.
Okay.
Yes, I was little then. So I was born in Gulu district. That's in northern Uganda, East Africa. Spent a little bit of my life there.
Okay.
A little bit, part of it, up to 1988.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm a Ugandan. My education is, we may touch on it a little bit later on.
Yes.
So yes, my name is David, Ugandan born, from Gulu, northern Uganda. Well, I'm an artist.
An artist?
Artist, yes, artist, not a singer. I like clay, so I'm a ceramicist. So I like to work with clay.
Okay.
Clay is my thing.
I didn't know that.
I can talk about clay all day long. You might get a little bit bored, yeah. So I'm keen, because clay is one of those medium where you really can't go wrong. I feel anyone can create something out of it. So I feel it's tangible. You feel it. You can manipulate it. It just works for me.
Okay.
But I've also tested it out with friends, family, and children, and to see if how do they respond to clay. It works very well. It's pretty well. So I want to maintain that level.
Okay. Very nice. Okay, so born and raised in Gulu, northern Uganda. How old? You said your story. You were there for a few years.
Yeah.
How old were you when you left Uganda?
Yes, I left Gulu district at the age of 7.
Okay.
7. That's 1987. Yes, 1987.
And you came here?
No. Oh, the journey is long.
Come on, I want the journey. I want the story.
The journey. I call it a journey. Yes, it's a journey indeed. It was a journey indeed. I can recall almost every single bit of it. I always tell myself. I don't always tell myself. God knows it before I even speak it. That I am lucky. I think I'm quite lucky. One, to be alive. Second, to be able to travel, to meet people, to talk to people. In that sense, I think I'm lucky. Lucky in that small way, but of course, with simplicity comes complexity. So I try to keep it as simple as that. I think I'm quite lucky. Things were not so good. Things were not so good indeed that time. That was during a number of conflict, not natural conflict. This is a man-made conflict. Armed conflict I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Change of the government, change of presidency. As we all know, that really Uganda really those days there were a peaceful election, there were a peaceful transition, but after there's always been now, you fight your way to power basically.
Yeah.
And that has an effect on people. My people, I say my people, I am part of them, they are part of me, I'm part of them. We're just a big family really. They are a resilient group of people. They really are a resilient group of people. But of course with change, government will change, life are lost.
Yeah.
Life are lost. But I always say it's not, that is usually just that's a chapter for that person, I would think. God has a way. He always has a way. People don't, killing somebody is not easy, or killing yourself is not an easy task, so I think that time maybe that God said, well look, yeah, this is how you're going to go, this is how I'm going to call you back, or this is how, usually I think it's down to God, how He does His things. So our time is now slowly, it's like a clock, it has now clicked, it's like a circle of this is a horror, but it slowly starts to kind of change, it's changed for the better.
Yeah.
For the better. Well, you may ask, well, how is that changing? There are those of us who have an understanding about how to talk to people, how to respond to, how to listen, and how to kind of support. There are few of us, I would say I'm included, because I move, I travel a lot. And I get opportunity to be able to talk about Uganda, and more Pacific, the people of northern Uganda, the more Pacific. I won't go into too much detail in terms of what the atrocities were. People can check up online, they can make their own mind.
Yeah.
But I can say there were a complete horror. That's kind of what tweaked my mom, I think, to say, okay, where do I put my children?
Yeah.
If I stay here, this is. She knew. I had no clue. Being a child of 7-year-old, you hear, these gunshots. You think it's just a joke, isn't it? You want to go and see it. Hey, what is that? Because you play. You make clay, you make toy guns. You make noise. Now you hear this happening for real, but you're not quite sure. Is it real? But I have to stop now and think, ooh, that was a serious issue.
Yeah.
That's were serious things going on. Then I try to reflect on it at the same time. So that's what brings me down to the sense that, okay, you are lucky, baby, you are lucky. I can't speak for other people, I can speak for myself because I know myself well. So that was when the horror began, you see. That's when the horror, it's a complete horror, really is horror. Nightmare. Painful thing to think about. Because I can reflect one of many incidents I can just share with you a little bit. I remember when I was about 7, from a place called Pagak P7. It's a primary school. It's from Gulu city toward Pabo, then from there it goes to South Sudan, Juba. Along the way, there's a small center called Away Center, and not far from there, there's a primary school called Pagak, Point of No Return. That was my first school. Now I remember a couple of gunshots, just upper here, few 4, 5. So being kids, we were inquisitive. What's that? Hey, come! Let's go and see what it is. We rushed up there, oblivious. We just got there and there were just bodies in the street. There was a family, I would think, who got their cattle raided. Understanding the situation a little bit later on that day, so they followed their cattle.
Okay.
Where's our cattle?
Yeah.
But by asking along the way, they found out where the cattle. So these people who raided the cattle ambushed them, not far from my home. Now, we are sitting around, so you find these bodies with the heads blown off, gunshot. The whole family just messed up. So we run back up. We run back. Wow! Now we found these people, and they're just lying in the street there, and on the road. And they're not moving. I think we think they're dead. Jokingly, kids not being killed. You can imagine what my mom was thinking.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, she didn't say much. I remember it very vividly. She did not say much. Being protective, because she knew. Well, they've seen it. Okay, let's leave it as that. Let's see what to do next. But those are one of many incidences. My grandmother was blown up through a landmine. She was on a pickup, traveling from that very place going to them. It's only 15, 20 minutes on a pickup. But during the war, they left landmines along the roadside, and they, boom. That's the end of her. Now, I think my mother realizes that, if I leave my children here, I have no idea still. Leave the child.
Yeah.
Let's go, we're in the back of the car, yippee, I think she had to do something. She's an exquisite woman. She really is. She is strong-minded also. Up to now, she had to take us to school. We had to study. She had to feed us. Before next time you may ask, what about your dad? That's another story. I really did not know my dad well. I think he died when I was even much earlier, so I really didn't get that bonding, that connection.
Yeah.
But I can remember him a little. That's as far as I can possibly go back.
Yeah.
But all I know is my mom and our family in that sense. So she has to vigorously really get busy, think of a way. Now I'm going to jump the story. Suddenly I realized I've been in Heathrow Airport many years past now.
So you're in Heathrow?
Yeah, many years now past from Gulu to the capital city to London Heathrow at the age of 12.
Okay. So do you know how long you were in Gulu? So were you from 8 to 12 in Kampala?
The journey, so the journey we kickstarted, we left Gulu and then we traveled to Kampala.
The city, okay.
Yeah, we stayed there for about 2 years. Somehow, friends, connection through friends. My elder sister was already in the capital city, Kampala. She also, the lady was telling you about, she's number one and last in the family. There's 7 of us. So she also jumped in. So somehow we ended up at Heathrow. I think she linked up with a friend, churches. She worked hard, and then I ended up at Heathrow Airport at the age of 12. 1988.
88 you first came, and you were 12 years old when you came to us. Okay. My goodness. All right, so 12 years old, 1988, you've arrived now in London town.
Heathrow Airport, let alone London. Heathrow Airport, something else.
It's London. It's a bit out there.
Yes. Heathrow.
Yeah.
Very cold, Lorraine. Very cold. Do you know this world is big for nothing?
Big for nothing.
Big for nothing. It's very small, in fact. When I look at it, from Kampala, it's like. Yeah, suddenly I'm in this cold environment. You see this thing coming out of the sky called snow. What is that? Drizzling down at many layers. I still do up and down, so happy. You see, like,
you're still cold.
30 years later. So it was a real experience. It was a shock to the system. Speaking no language of English at all. I only knew one language, which is my mother tongue language, called the Luwero. That's all I knew. Still just, yeah, this is great, wow, big, just a jubilant. But then I joined school. We were first denied entry I think those days was a bit more easier. They did some quick check on us to make sure that they knew the war was going on.
Yeah.
People are dying like ants, really. So in that sense, I have to say that the British government have been good.
Okay.
I put my heart out to the system. They've been good, and they allow. I can't say anything negative. Then they allowed me to enter. From there, we travel the same bus, the same company like I took today, Oxford bus company to Oxford. From there, we met some few family friends.
Okay. Do you know if you stayed in London for very long?
No.
No.
I did not stay in London at all.
Oh.
And just from Heathrow Airport straight to Oxford.
Okay.
That's about an hour drive on 40. Straight to Oxford.
So you're in Oxford now.
Yep.
You've been sort of given entry or stay for a period of time.
Yep.
In Oxford, and now you're 12 years old still. So you're about to go into year 7, secondary school.
Yep. I think it was called. Those days called the middle schools. I think those days it was called middle school. I jumped the queue a bit because of age. I think they deal with age. I think you know, if a particular age you go in a particular year. I think yearly. I think. So I had to jump a few classes, but they took me back again because the language was not quite. I was not quite ready to be able to. So they first took me back a year.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the year, they took me to the correct middle school. I went to a school called IC's Middle School in Oxford. Quite a nice school.
Yeah.
The school welcomed as well. They gave me some good teaching, I have to say. They did try. I can remember quite a lot. So I got involved, mingled in. I'm the kind of person who, when somebody says no, when Noreen you say, David, no. I'll look at you and say, there's a maybe there.
There's a maybe. Like, you don't understand.
I don't, yes. So I see there's a maybe there.
Okay.
Maybe there's a maybe, then it's a maybe, yes. So even up now I still do it. I'm a bit more crafty at it. Because when somebody says no, I can't give you this, I can't donate this for you. No. Maybe that time that person is busy in their mind, things going on. I'll give you a break.
Yeah.
Come back again with another prospect of it. But quite often maybe I'll. Oh, did you say maybe? Maybe yes. Yeah. Okay, I'll come back. Oh, all right, David. Okay, yeah. All right, I'll do it. All right. Okay, you can have it. You can go. So, but in life, I think that helped me a lot.
Yeah.
A lot because I always don't do things. There are 2 things I look at, Noreen, that I take very seriously in my life. Very simple. It works for me. 1. If I know, I feel it in the entire system, I can help you. Helping doesn't mean injecting, throw money at you, whatever. No, or materialistic things. No. Help can come in different form, just like us talking now. It's a good form of help. So if I know, I feel it, I know I can help you, I usually do it. I'm not hesitant. I usually do it. I don't even have to tell you. Because I feel it, I know it, I do it. It may not be immediate, but I'll find a way to help. That's first thing. Secondly, the word intend. Intend. If you think, I intend to help you. I intend to do that. That means wanting. You really want to do it. Intend. I usually think twice about that. Because I know, right now I'll do it to you and assume it's a negative. Tend to rubbish you, downsize you, make you look this small, hurt you in whatever form. My time will come because I know that what goes around will somehow trickle back. It's just like a kind of circle of event. You just don't know when it'll come back to you. At some point it will, and it can shock your system. Then you think, I did this is why, so maybe that's what's going on. These things. Intend, but I have children also. Like I have 5 children.
You have 5.
5 children I've got. Oh, busy man.
A little bit.
Thank you, Lord. But so I can intend to discipline my child. They're all boys. I could. But I know how to draw a line.
Mm-hmm.
I could tend to give this one a little bit of a caning, a little. I know the law doesn't allow, but hey, Africa.
You say little, you're...
Yeah, so now we now can relate, you know. So intend to teach but not harmful. Yeah. I know where to draw a line. This is my kid, you know. It's being stubborn.
Yeah.
I told him once, twice, I don't, sometimes reasoning is fine. You can reason out with children. You know, a child is like a blank canvas. It's just a blank canvas. It is us, the community and the parents, to paint the picture onto them. You know, so I think by doing so, it's part of teaching. So I can intend to teach my child a lesson. To teach, not to harm, but to teach. So those are the two things. Intend, and if I know I can help, I will help. I always use it, and it works for me. It works for me. And very few people hate me. Hate, the word hate. Very few. And usually I will spot it.
If they do.
If they do. You know, I have to look back over sequence of events. What did David do? David, what did you do? Did you say something? Did you do something? Or should you have done something? So I try to trigger myself back. If I can't see it, then I say, God, handle this one. This one needs your attention. I can't handle this one. This one, not mine. I can't now. You know, you do your job.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you think you were like that from when you were younger?
I've always been just always been like that. I'm the odd one in the family because my family, they no one does art, but they love art. So it is me who took it up quite seriously.
Did you take that up when you came here, or was that something that?
It is something I remember. I remember my grandmother clearly, Saluma. I used to sit and watch her. She makes pots, you know. She makes pots, and this pot, you know, Africa. Oh, Africa, yeah. I love that place. I think that's how it all began. Just jokingly, seeing my family and my mother and the community in Amsterdam, because they make pot and they use it. They make bowl, plates, they use it. It's functional art. So that got me interested. I mean, I love art generally.
Yeah.
I really love art, but somehow you got to specialize, at least. I teach art.
You teach art?
That's how I earn a living.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I have traveled all over the place.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay. Let's backtrack a little bit. So you were telling us about secondary school.
Yep.
12 years old.
Yep.
You're in this school.
Yep.
It's called Iris?
ISIS Middle School.
ISIS Middle School in
Oxford.
Oxford.
Yes.
Yep. And you said some of the reasons why I guess you didn't struggle to adapt when you came was because of, I guess, some of these like traits that you have where you know you are very kind of intentional.
Yep.
And also that you said intent and forgot the other.
If I can help.
If you can help.
If I can help someone.
Right. So you touched down. We're in Oxford. You're about teenage kind of years.
Yeah.
Would you say that you didn't really like? Did you have, what kind of issues then did you have as you were like getting used to UK life and settling in?
UK life was a real shock to the system, I must admit. Positively, you know, again, you know, I realized, well, look, you know, you're in a different environment. Yeah, there could be another village back there, of course, but you're seeing different people, different backgrounds, you know, are here. And you're seeing things that you normally see, lots of cars. You know, high-tech technology, this and that. The roads are proper, and there's a good system. You know, people are well smartly dressed, you know, that kind of thing. Well, you look at it and you know, I was quite brought up at that age really. So I knew. I think that goes back to the teaching that my mom has given, injected into us. You know? Like try and be independent, you know, because back home there, she has to So she has to go to the garden and plow and dig and stuff. So she leaves us, you know. And when you're left alone, you have to be creative. You're not alone, that's alone. Communities are around.
Yeah.
They all have other kids also. You start building now, you're kind of like, I call it a group of, some kind of a small gang, you know,
Yeah.
a small gang, the different age group and different. You kind of form up a kind of a community group of certain age.
Yeah.
Because culturally, we have subtle ways of respect. Subtle and usually that's usually taught to the boys and the girls in a very subtle way. And they will insist on that until you get it. And when you get it, then you're left at your own accord. Like, how do you development? You know, boys into boyhood and into manhood, or young man and then into a kind of a fully grown man. There's a sequence of a system you've got to go through, not a mass, but they'll lure you into it gradually and in a very steady manner. It's not different from what we had here. The only difference here is just simply language, and maybe because it's culturally a little bit different. It's a little different. So I'm mingling, yes. So I said, look, if you're not going to mingle, you're not going to learn anything. I mean, in school, they knew I was quite sporty. So that's one way of kind of like football, you go to kind of break time, you play. You mingle in, and I used to point at things a lot because I couldn't speak a lot. You get the Mickey, they use the word Mickey taken out of you.
Yeah.
You can't speak the language. Yeah. If you take to Africa, do you think, so, so I built up a kind of a tough skin, and I was a good goer, so I could just mingle in, and if I feel I'm not fit in, I go somewhere else like that. But eventually I picked up the system, I learned the language a little bit. Still can't speak it well, surely, even up to now, really, but I try, a little bit. So I mingled and I got involved, excitingly. Then from middle school, quickly maneuvered to secondary school, a school called Cheney School.
Still in Oxford?
Still in Oxford, yes. Cheney School, secondary school. From there, the whole process, and then I went to Oxford College of FE, spent, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years there. This variety of courses just to get myself, what is it you want, David, in life? What do you want to be? What art? What area of art are you interested in? That's like finding out what is it I want to do before I shift to university. So I'm kind of playing around with what. Then eventually, I had to choose something that I could go to university and specialize on. I love all forms of art. So I kind of narrowed down to ceramic. I knew that talks to me more. It compensates with me, it talks to me more. So I chose that. So I went to Wales, that's University of Wales, Cardiff. University of Wales, Cardiff. So I spent 4.5 years there. Okay. Graduated.
In ceramic art?
Ceramic.
Okay.
Ceramic.
You didn't necessarily struggle so much because of, I guess, being the helper that you are and being sort of very intentional with what you plan to do. But specifically in university, and then like a little bit after, can you tell us a little bit about some of the people that helped you, and pushed you in this country?
I think I have an ability, a simple ability, to sense if I'm needed or not, or if I'm wanted or not. I usually just have, I call it a 5-minute thing. I don't know. Seems to work for me. I will give you just 5 minutes. I did that when I drove you from Gulu.
Station.
Yes. Yes. You don't remember, but I did it. And just from there was 5 minutes only. That was more than enough. I knew this person is interested. He's interested. Interesting and interested. In Africa and in helping and in terms of just doing good generally for people. And that usually helps. You have a long life if you do that. Because you don't look back. When you look back, you see there's a clear path. Clear path. occasional hiccup, but
Yeah.
clear path. And you feel it, you know it. So when you move forward, you know, I'm contented. I don't have a. So this bring me down to the politics. Yes, difficulties, yes. You know, I've gone through some racism, you may say, you know. I go to some schools, like because I teach in schools. I teach clay. I don't teach full time. I go into schools, different schools, and really get the school fired up. Because the art in secondary schools are quick, clean already. The floors are clean, they don't dirty. So I tell the head teacher, if my agreement with you is allow me, is that yes or not? Yes. Allow me to do my session, give me 100 children. Break it up, 30. 2 hours. Give me a room, where's your art room? Let me sit. I don't give them time to think. Because when you give them time to think, they start looking at, you know, CRBs and whatnot.
Health and safety.
Do you want me to? So David, no, we can't do it. We've got to get the funding, we've got to write to the council to give us this, and we need to check out your credentials, and you don't want to be someone we don't want, you know, and, you know. Already when they say that, I'm thinking, is this one trying to kind of profiling me? Is they seeing that because this is here comes a black guy? Not all. You read into that quickly, and you have to do it quickly.
Yeah.
So I asked the teachers, no. Do you do clay? Do you we don't, because it's messy, it's dirty, and some parents and some kids react badly. They say, well, do you mind if I can come and do a presentation to the teachers? When is your staff inside there? When you do your meeting in the mornings, can I kindly come in? I'll bow down to their level. Can I come in on Friday and do a small presentation to the staff, and maybe they can even try what I can do. David, let me think about it. But can I start with you? What time is your lunch? When I go and meet the parents coming in at 2 o'clock. Do you have 10 minutes? 5 minutes. Okay, well, can we start now? I'm already there already. So I'll get the ball, I'll get a bit of clay and just cut them up and make something very quickly, there and then. And I said, it didn't take long, did it? And when you do this, and when they start seeing things involving, and they can relate to curriculum, creativity, cultural well-being, therapeutic, those who are having difficulties in class, can this one calm this child down? I don't ask which child has difficulties. Yeah. Those ones who are really just, they have small problem, like could be just because they don't like being close proximity, or they just have some special need, or they just don't like the subject, so they always causing problems in class. I tell the teacher, if you say yes, don't tell me. If you say yes, you got to enjoy every minute of it. And this has never been done before. I specialize on this. Okay. Can you allow? Then we don't have the money. How much have you got? Well, we can get the parents. Why did you get the parents, the children to bring maybe £5.5? I don't mind. But I do it in a way that I want to sneak into the school system, first to expose this black guy from East Africa, from Gulu district, who has traveled far. But I even have a more interesting point is to look at those black children, underachieving black children. These ones already are born here, they know what it is, but there are those ones who are underachieving because it's no longer how they feel. It's about how they look and how they fit in. Yeah. So I'll come in and I'll try to look into that a little bit more. Okay. Because if they see this guy come in, if you speak, yes I do. If you come, you get those who come and feel your skin like this. Does it come off? Yeah?
The students.
Yeah. The tickly ones. They come and feel the skin. The teachers go blue, red, white, but the skin color changes, the way they stress out the teachers.
Yeah.
Could you ask that question? You shouldn't ask that question. I think the teachers no. Do you mind if I run my session? Can you work and create something there? And let them be free. And when they start asking the questions, and then while I'm doing the demo, I'm talking, I'm creating something. I'm seeing, I have a panorama view of what's going on. I'm saying like this one there, quiet, observing. You see they start pulling into what you're doing. The face start to change. The man is thinking, oh, I could do better that day.
Okay. So you kind of use it in a way to like size them up. You're like working them out.
And then I make this claim very quickly, and then I mess it all up. Go and do yours now. But they did take that. They did a because one thing saying it, another thing seeing it. So one day I asked one of the schools to set a camera from above on a table.
Okay.
There was 4 children on one table. So I did a demo there, set up their spaces to start work. We wanted to see what will happen. So they start the camera when the children didn't know, but school were aware of what's going on. On, above, down, to see what goes on. How do they move? How do they relate to one another? It was quite shocking. These kids never moved for the whole 2 hours.
They
never moved from that table.
Okay.
They were busy working. First, when you speak now quickly, you see the eyes start doing that when they speed up the camera. They look at them. When they're about to start, and then suddenly you see one start to pick up the clay stuff.
Okay.
Things are involved for 2 hours. And then I asked the teacher, can we see this 2 hour shot that you've shot?
Yeah.
Can we sit and watch and see what's happened to it? They were very surprised. Those children are usually difficult in class, but you give them clay, you give them something therapeutic, it works wonders. And when they create the pieces, that they make the masks, so I get these exotic food boxes, and I put the piece inside, like the face mask, for example, animal faces and whatnot, Africa theme. A lot more to do with Africa. I want them to understand that actually, it's not what they see on TV quite so much. It's not different from here, when they go to, like, say, Kenya, go to come. No different. Everything they've got here is there. It's not just about animals, about, being poor. No. So I want to change. I'm talking about village schools, Maureen. I'm not talking about the city schools. I'm talking about village schools where a lot of them don't meet a black person before. I'm talking specifically about a black person. I have a black skin or dark skin. So by having someone coming into school and just sort of in assembly time and do that, it breaks a lot of barriers. So when you go to school, when you start your school, let me come. Do something, then you see what I'm talking about.
Very cool. Okay, and so you do this for secondary, primary school?
Yeah, for anything from 6 and above. Yeah, I can handle that. I can get low to that level. I can handle that. I've been doing it for the last 20 years, so I really know what I'm doing. I'm contented with it. Clay. Yeah. Oh yes. And then we can build a partnership. Pen pals. So things don't end there. So as a teacher, it could be something you take up seriously when you start teaching. Unique, because once a school start up initiative like that, like pen friends or pen pals, not just posting it, but literally taking it, filming it, delivering it, and bringing vice versa. And maybe as they get older, they can even meet one another. Can you imagine, bringing a few who can perform and just exquisitely do stuff in their school assembly, and do vice versa. With parents can be involved. I usually found out that it wasn't really about the school I wanted to touch on. It was the parents I'm interested in. Most important, the parents. Because when the parents come into school to see the children's work, oh darling, they go and grab the mom, dad, so come see, go and see, come. Today we did that. And the things on a low level. Exotic fruit boxes. You go to Tesco, you get fruit boxes for bananas. Yeah. You get smaller ones of that, strong enough. Paint it up, you could design patterns in it, but face mask, African mask, clay mask, you make a couple of holes on the side, it goes inside. Safety, you just tie it up, it stays there. They can paint it, it can be fired, you can add feathers, bead, chicken bones for the whatnot, mop heads. Fantastic for dreadlocks, lovely. So it goes inside, and when it's picked up, and you see it looks wonderful. It's down, bird eye view is different, and you can just line it up onto the wall, up, and it can stay up. They cannot touch it. They will sit every day. And when the schools they're shifting, moving school, they take it home. Some children, they are now 2023. David,
in the street.
Miss Odwar. Hello, remember me? Do not get old. My memory is not that good. Please remind me on that one. No, it's cool. It is. Yeah, that's what. Oh, you're the difficult one. No. And why do you make this lion face mask? Oh, I don't remember a thing. There's so many. You still have it? Yeah. You do. 20 years later. Yeah, I do. I remember. I still have it in my room, and it's in my. Oh. And I feel. You get goosebumps like, oh, doing something nice.
Yeah, that's really
well, thank you very much for remembering me. How are you? Which school are you on? How are university? What are you studying? I'm studying law. So if I break the law, you defend me, right?
Wow.
David, maybe.
Because you taught me this, maybe. You can do some crimes. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's really sweet. Oh my goodness. And you've done that for like 20?
20, 25, 20, 30 years now. A lot.
Well done. Congratulations.
I'm now winding down. That's why I set up the art center. So I can now go back and take mold the others from home.
Can you tell us a little bit about the art center that you have in Gulu? Can you tell us just why you set it up and what you're up to and the things that you're doing there, and then we'll get on to the last couple of questions.
Thank you for asking, Lauren. Great. I realized that yes, I was lucky, but there are those who were not lucky enough, or are still not lucky enough to be able to see the world a little, to be able to share their knowledge and their cultural differences, and they're just static. They're eager, but they don't have the means and the interest.
Yeah.
Some of us who had the opportunity have been kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been dragged into now getting full-time jobs. Not dragged physically, but the system drags you into it because you got to own a house.
Yeah.
Here in those of us who had time in England now, there are quite many Ugandan here in England.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. It's a system. So you have to get 9-to-5 jobs. You got to be able to pay your bills. You got to put food on the table. There's no garden here. Your garden is Tesco, St. Mary's big supermarket. So you find that people don't have time. And these are skilled people. You find doctors, nurses, really real skilled people. And I often ask God, please work some magic on them. Let them take that experience and develop Africa to where it is. Because we only live once. And the system here would allow you to just work home. Home. Occasional party here and there, even that is squeezing your time. Work home. And you got this mortgage to clear. Mortgage takes years to clear. Not even now with these things happening now, it's another ball game altogether. So you kind of ask, what's happening here? Why am I doing this? It's for who? Is it for the food I'm going to eat, or is it for the lifestyle I want to live in? Is it good? Am I enjoying it? What's so good about it? I mean, am I enjoying the life really? What is life really? I think Africa has got a place where you can really enjoy life personally. Africa hasn't. Never mind about the organized chaotic it has. It is just the way it is. And if you experience it once, twice, 3 or 4 times, you'll come down to their level of doing things and appreciate the environment, and the air is fresh. You move out of town, the air is fresh, the food is fresh. We are a mechanical engine that needs good fuel. You put the wrong fuel old fuel, last year's fuel in your car, you're expecting something to go wrong. You know, food are kept in refrigeration for months. You lose the quality. There, Africa still has the space, still has the people, still have the it is the next place to be. And the world knows it. And now they're fighting for it. But I feel those of us who can, our time is now, really. Our time is now. Is to we're not stupid. We're not just going to go and pack up and go there. No, you know, we're skillful enough that you organize a streamlined system that to say, look, I can still relate to my family. I can still move. You know, I've got some income coming. You know, I mean, £1, you know, there is 5,000 Ugandan shilling or 4,000 something Ugandan shilling. My volunteers get as an allowance monthly per day. They get like 3,000 Ugandan shilling. That is how many? 10 pence, 20, 30 pence a day. They're happy with that. That's good money. They're happy with that, and they can survive with that. Pay their children's school fees. So you can see what I'm talking about now. And you ask yourself, what's missing? Why don't? Because of the system we have. Maybe because I feel that now I'm at that middle age whereby I understand what I should do so that I enjoy life as well as. You know, I must do certain things. No one can leave it for me. I have to leave it for myself. And that's why I set up a center. The center is called Through Art Keep Smiling, which was missing. The smile was missing for a long time already. I worked with children there during the heavy war, during the LRA, that's the Lord Resistance Army, and the government of Uganda. Where were we?
The president.
His Excellency, President Kaguta Museveni. I've never met him personally. I wish and I hope I meet him one-on-one. And I hope you'll see Mr. President, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. I have a lot to share with you one-on-one. I would love to do it, and maybe you get this lady on board. She can really be supportive. Kindly, we can do wonders for the people of Northern Uganda. And I've written to you my proposal. I hope that you received it. We need an art faculty in Northern Uganda, specifically a tax art center. That's my pledge, Mr. President.
I agree.
Going smile was missing for a very long time, because I used to go and work with the children who were the people who were put in displaced camps. This is IDP, that's internally displaced persons camp. Because it's safer in number. The government says, okay, we know what's going on. Let's first be together so we can protect you better. So they were put. I've traveled in almost all. And did workshop.
When did you do that?
2001, 2002. That was my first return home.
Okay.
I got the BBC involved. They did a documentary called To Bring a Smile.
Okay.
And I went home. It was just based on my return home. It was aired on BBC Southern Eye just before EastEnders. It was a shock to the Ugandan who are here, because it was never done before. You can check it out, called To Bring a Smile. Produced and filmed by a lady called Zuleika Kingdom. She's based in Oxford, and she's Ugandan born, but based in Oxford. She's got an English parents. She's got a film company, maybe a kind of a documentary company called Distant Object. Look him up. Look it up. She somehow made contact with the British Council in Uganda, and she got some small money, put the thing together. I was like, really. I mean, I've done a lot of paving the way. I already did it. I knew what I wanted, and I still know where I'm going. And I think I will get there. Only that I need some strong backing. And I pray hard that God lands in your heart and said, look, you get to know what He's doing a little bit more. See if you could do more with that. Because when you do more with that, it will trickle onto many people. So I used to go to these camps and do work with children. I used to get children from LCs, they call local councillors, this without in charge. They'll get 20, 30. But I used to go with some teachers also.
Okay.
So if I come to your school, do a workshop, I'll talk to the head and say, look, teacher, head teacher, what you're getting here, you're not going to get again. Can you make my being here a landmark or like an initiative that your bara is not being done before? Can you send maybe Canela or maybe a few teachers to come with me and take the letter that your children are reading and they go and do the same? Get your English teacher, get your art teacher to come. Rather than we doing it, can they come and do it with me and we bring it back and do assembly? So usually I take 6, sometimes I take 2. Go with them, back to Gulu, we go to the camp. Heavy guard. The government was protective. So David, you again, right? Well now look, you know you need armed guard, don't you? I said, well, I could move on my own, but no, you got visitors. We can't let you move there on your own. You need protection because of I mean, art, you can't blame it. It's either take it or leave it. I can never talk about the government badly because I don't know it. I cannot talk about the guys in the bush. I don't know them. I know but I'm just an artist. And what I'm doing is to get the children to smile for the day. Because these kids, Noreen, they grew up so fast. And they've seen so many horrific things. They're no longer children. So when I get these kids in one classroom and say, look, okay, let's do something together, shall we? I slow things down. I become at their level. And I become more kind of quiet. I become less shouting, less more. I mean, I was there twice, 3 times a year. So I built up a relationship with them. Like going home to my people, going home to my family. So I went there. I knew if I don't do that, I will not get to know, is it needed, what I'm trying to do? Does it help? Does it help people to reconcile, to give that therapy sense, that kind of conversational while they're doing something? Is it needed? So I did it anyway. I knew if I don't do it, I will not know. But I realized it's highly needed. Art is highly needed. That's what brings me down to what you're trying to do with the blog or with this. I think it's a great thing because everything begins by a conversation. That's how you mold a step ahead. How you see where to fit yourself in. Then the action comes a little later on. So having a conversation with you is great because it is just sparks up something. And I think you've not seen anything yet. In fact, you've not seen much. What you saw is what you saw. But what you wanted to see, you needed time. And I feel if God can land on your heart again, try and squeeze another time. But this time, I take that tour myself. Then you really would see Uganda, or specifically the northern part of Uganda. That place has history. It really has history. The center, again, is called TAKS, which is TAKS, abbreviated through art, keep smiling. In war is Iti Ching Gwahobonyo. If we translate it, Iti Ching Gwahobonyo. And that's translated in war, that's through art, keep smiling. It is right, I know you're going to ask me, yes. Is it true? Yes. Iti Ching Gwahobonyo. Through art, keep smiling. Correct me, I know. Don't worry, she'll get back to me. So we are known. Right now, my most worry, Noreen, is tribalism. It's a big headache. You find a department, only one tribe packed inside there. You find a department there. So for you, another person, to get yourself inside there, it's not easy. So that makes it a little bit different, that fairness, that balance of let's build the country together, lacks and they. But some of us, I'm included, we're going to work on that. We're starting from the root of it, from the ground level up, like you're building a house. We're starting from the foundation of it all. Because if the foundation of that house is sound, you don't want a shortcut. If you shortcut with that, you're going to get cracks on the wall. Yeah. Give it 10 years, 20 years, you're going to find one side of your wall will collapse because your foundation will not properly set up. So I'm looking at the art aspect of it, which I'm so acutely tuned to, and I know what it does. The means and the support now, where Noreen can come in, those who can, because you're unique at the educative aspect of it. You can communicate well, you can articulate things well, you can direct things well, and that's your life. That's what God gave you that. But I think if you are here in the UK and then the system will lock you up because you are needed here. You have to 9 to 5. You're going to get your class. All the paperwork that comes along with it. All the staff meeting that comes along. All this council filling forms you got to do. All these health safeties. Yes. So, you find that you lose the teaching bits of it because you're so consumed with the what if. But in Africa, I think give it Uganda Pacific, give it 10, 20 years. Our president has realized, and he's a man of steady. He doesn't hurry in things. He does his work steadily, but well thought out. You know, what I like about our president is his memory is sharp. He doesn't forget easily. He does not forget. You know, and he's fine-tuned because all these years now he has developed a good system, which I think is exquisite, and I think those youngsters who are in the government can pick from him. Yeah. I only wish I could meet him, but one day I hope that time will come. But he has done well. People may not see it, but he has done well. The change is not immediate change like all this, no, steady change. Now that the war has ended, which he had played a big part in it, you know, he had his anger, you know, being a human being, we do have it occasionally. My big worry at the moment is his advisors must be fine-tuned to what's happened. But I can only talk about the art aspect of it because I know that. Yeah. I plead that the government put some attention on the art. I'm talking about specifically tax art center because its location in Gulu, in the northern part, it's quite unique. It has historical background where tax center is located, and we must preserve that historical aspect, the conservation bits of it. Let alone leave alone the art center, where its location must be first preserved, and have enough land at the heart of Gulu city, at the heart of it. So in a way, it can promote. Because I would love to invite His Excellency, the President Luwero to come and just discreetly sit behind and see what goes on, what we do. And then maybe we can do him a good show. Yeah. Not this funny music you see now on TV. No, meaningful and real cultural show from the northern part of Uganda. I know he wants to. He always talk about it, but he can't be everywhere. Yeah. He dedicate and he allocate people to handle that. That's where the problem is. People who he has allocated, they've talked sweetly to him, you know, they don't do what he has asked them to do. And when you listen to the president carefully, he always touch on those aspects of it. That sort your home out. He tells his people, sort your home out. Make sure you do this, do that. He guides them along. He directs them well. But of course, human being, we always want more. It is mine, not yours. Yeah. Mine. I want 10 cars. I want every money. So sometimes he gets annoyed and he says, look, I'm going to audit everybody. I'm going to check the districts, these cities, how is your money being used? This corruption thinking. Leave that aside. Where I want the government to participate in is just put more emphasis on the art aspect of it. At the northern part of Uganda, because when northern Uganda is handled well artistically, Uganda will be put on another pedestal altogether, worldwide. I am so ready because I understand. Like just today, I went to, or yesterday, sorry, I went to this museum called the Pitt Rivers, as I told you before. The Pitt Rivers Museum, Oxford University. They have some Ugandan artifacts inside there. Northern Uganda doesn't have proper
gallery.
Yeah, proper museum. They do not have. And I had to travel from Gulu to Oxford to see what we call aula. Aula is a you know what I mean, you guys. Aula is a piece of traditional dance. You wear it on the hand, and it's made of tail, the hair, the tail. So when you do that, it moves, and it's got deep meaning of it, and not much has been talked about. They actually dance. There are about even almost 20 different types of dance.
Okay.
But it's not been documented. And when you see them dance, you really get to see that this is a proper dance. The story behind I call it body language. And the emphasis on the body language. And the way it is done, exquisitely done, you really can say, look, this is unique and this is beautiful, this is exciting to watch. I'll pay to watch that if need be. Now we do it. So you may ask, what is the center for? Well, the center is for the local people, for Uganda, but the more for this northern part of Uganda specifically, because I want to just get people to smile more, genuine smile, and when you get a genuine smile, you feel it, you know that's genuine. And I've worked on that quite a lot with the children, with the young adults, and now they come and they use the center to just to sit around and have a conversation to one another in a safe environment, natural environment, and also cohesive environment. Secondly, to be able to reconcile with one another, talk about what happened.
Let's talk about
what happened. Pour it out among themselves. I'll give an example. I think you've seen these paper beads that they were selling. They sell in these necklaces. They're rolled up paper, but they call it paper beads.
Okay.
I think you may have bought one from the center.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, this rolled up small paper bead, but it looks like seeds, but a rolled up paper. They call paper beads.
Okay.
That art really worked really well. My older sister, Santa Joyce Lake, she went to the capital city and she met some good friends of hers, and they showed her how to make those things. It's just recycling paper.
Okay.
When the elections going on in Africa, they print lots of papers, the publicity, and then they stick things and things like that. Many posters have been. But usually that thing is left in the parks in the streets, and they just, after the election is finished, now you got all these papers, what do you do with it? There's no recycling system, it just hopefully rots. What happens is those papers are picked up, and then they're taken, they're cut into strips, and they're rolled up using toothpicks. They're rolled up, and then they put a little glue at the end. Then they glaze it, or they what do you call it, varnish it, kind of skin safe varnish. They varnish it, so they seal the paper inside with a hole inside. So they thread it up to make necklaces, bracelets, belt. Sometimes she took that idea to Northern Uganda, a tax art center. This was 2000, 1999, there about 2000. She went and it is little, but Noreen, that thing worked wonders. Because what happened is she taught some 2 or 3 ladies at the center
how to make.
Yeah. They mastered it. She brought another 5. They mastered. This is like months a year. So she got like 5. Those who now become her teachers. So teachers of teachers. And then she started. Then she linked up with 1 or 2 people outside. And then they said, okay, if you make us 5, we'll try and sell it for you, and maybe you can give some money back to the people who are making it. Fair trade. I could see she's thinking about, well, these things seem to do something. Why? Because this place camps that you have, there were many in northern Uganda where people are congregated in one area for safety. And of course, you try and wander out, you either get shot, or you landmine, or you get abducted. Abduction was high. Having children was going on. Children becoming child soldiers was going on. Girls, horrible thing goes on. And what the center has been able to do so is to teach that method of creativity, because these ladies would now come to the center and they make these beads. Jewish king would find a market to sell it. The money comes back to them. She managed the quality control to make sure they get good quality sellable things. The money goes. Now the women are getting some money. When they go home, the husband sees she pulls up maybe like a pound, like 5,000. She put maybe like £5. That's big money at that time. The husband sees it. Where did you get that money from? Yes, I big bead. What bead? That's not for me. I don't do beads. But what he doesn't realize is he's not digging. He's at home. Then she goes and starts making these brews. This special, we call it a local liquor. She will sell it because she now has no choice. The kids are there. These daily human beings are there. You can't leave them unattended. You have to feed them. They have to eat every day. So she will make this thing. So she sells to get paraffin to light the house. She will make these things. So the husband will drink it because now he feels it's useless. He will drink it and he'll get drunk. Now when he's drunk, you know what? You find that domestic violence, you end up beating her up, but now she comes home, she stopped making these booze because Jews will tell them she's amazing. She will tell them, being a woman, this is what you should do, But be careful also. Don't just expose your money anyhow because he will take it from you. You buy some. Now this lady is buying food, not all, but she's buying. She stopped making the special booze. The husband is not drinking now. He's now being attentive. But he can't go out and dig because you find that landmine have blown one side off the leg. You find that they're wheelchairs, but they still want to be part of the children's life, So I don't blame them, man. They just feel useless. Now she goes home. Now she buys blanket for the children. Now she buys bed. Now she puts food. Now he's thinking, maybe I should be involved in this thing.
Yeah.
Usually we say, look, if you bring your husband, we will most welcome, although we won't just women here, but bring them. They will come and they will somehow, they will come.
And the end.
And then,
okay.
Something is happening here.
Yeah, but they kind of.
They didn't.
Okay. A few more centimeters.
Then before Lord, he's not interested in what she's doing. She's now rolling these beads. So it has stopped these domestic violences to the women. Not just women to men also. Some women are strong, pin down the man and give him a good slap. Yes.
It's true.
Why did you do that? I don't do that. So you find that, so the police having so many cases, but this sort of stopped that. And then the more women got involved, the more men became involved, the more children became, because the mother will give maybe a bucket full of this, they roll. And that's helping them. So it became a family art event. But it ran over some good 5-10 years, became too much. Now everybody's doing it. So as a center, we felt that we've done well with that. Take it up, proceed with it. Now, we fight in terms of quality now, exquisiteness, how beautiful now, in terms of creativity now. Do that. But the government not seen it.
Yeah.
They don't know that going on. Again, Mr. President, do something.
But all of those benefits, like the conversations being had,
great
bringing
benefit.
the community.
I feel that I need to create an environment and link up with the people who I feel can make a difference. While I'm still alive and able to see that difference, I want to be part of that difference.
Yeah.
And really, if you get the money will come. When you're doing something, money follows. Start with a great idea. This is what I always do. I go to school. I don't do much. And they end up paying me more than I usually ask for. But I get the school really fired up. So when I leave, but when they try to do it, they can't. They still give me back and forth. So I do it in a very skillful way to say, look, when they do it, they never go back to when you see these women, they go back to watch the beats and the effect it had on the ladies. These women will start singing. Again, I was saying, even talking about three things. One was, mine came back. And you ask, what do you mean, mine came back?
Mine.
Well, mine came back. Within the song, they're singing about mine came back. I had no idea what that meant. But digging a little bit, listening a bit more, they were talking about, because then the boy, her boy or her son or her daughter was abducted at age of 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when and not showed up after 9/11. Or then one who said, mine came back. This one who has did not come back. They start, nothing they can do apart from crying. But that crying I felt is very therapeutic. It gives that outlet burst of what's on it. You know, let it out. Talk about it, but in that environment. Nobody's going to judge you. You know, this one you see in the old. So when Joyce brings this way, she selects them. Those who have real difficulties. Not just anybody comes in. Those who really feel this was still young. She has children. She's really trying, but she has a roadblock. She can't go beyond. She needs help. So she'll do it quietly. It's painful to see, and everybody knows it. I'll give you a horrible scenario so that people know what they're talking about, because it's on paper, it's public domain, I can't hide it. You have a child. This so-called bush war, army guys, all these guerrilla fighters, we don't know who, comes to your home. We want what you've got. All your money, everything, we want it. We want to take you. Or somebody said you've been talking, or you have a small baby. They say, okay, fine. You have two options. Because they don't leave any because you've been talking, they leave you behind alive. The guys will come and say, look, did they pass here? They don't leave anything, because you tell them where they've gone. You know these things, these mortars for they use it for pounding food. So you have two choices. You choose one. Second one, you deal with your baby. Basically, your baby. They will tie a dog behind you, back of you. They tie a dog, and you carry that dog. Now the dog will feel hungry at some point, or get annoyed, or get pain, will it? Won't it? The dog is behind you. You carry the legs are here. And then you're caught. You're still at home. While you're at home, you're informer. Brother, sister, mother, father, son. Mother, lie down, face down. Get this digging hole. This for digging. Do what you can. If you don't do, we kill you. The son has no choice. Kill our parent. And this is some of the papers. There was some horrible thing that has gone on. Deep, and you think, how can a human being do that to another human being? But what goes around comes around. Here's David, here, Noreen, and we're trying to do something. We're talking about it. We're trying to make a little change, massive change. Little change, subtle changes, polite changes, creativity changes. And that's where the center is at. The center is well known. Everybody in Gulu knows the center, Gulu City. They all use it from officials to kids, school children. And sometimes when I'm there, and they always call me, David, can we bring our school to come and do some art? Yeah. Can we hire a place for wedding? Yes, please. Can we do a dance showcasing? Like break dancing, like modern type. Yes. Like on the 8th, on the 9th, which is when is it today?
Tomorrow.
They're having a dance competition at the center.
Okay, Tax Center, TAKS.
Through art, keep smiling.
Keep smiling. You've heard all of the wonderful stuff going on. I've been once I'm going again 100%.
She's going back again. Please, please send her a message. Let her go back.
I'm
2
coming
weeks.
back, and you guys need to come to. It's beautiful.
Oh, join her.
It will come up on the screen. It will be in the link. Will be in the description box.
Yeah.
Find them on Insta, on socials.
Send Noreen a message.
Yes.
Say we are coming together. We want to see where this center is, and I will pick you all up from the airport.
He genuinely will. No joke.
Official.
So, last 2 questions,
yes.
please. Can you? So, just based on sort of your experiences, your history, based on the things that you have been through and the things that you're doing, also, what advice would you give to somebody else in Uganda who may be thinking, a young person or an adult thinking of coming to the UK? What advice would you give to that person?
Listen to yourself more. Sit back and listen to yourself more. Respect yourself. Take care of yourself, of you, and then your immediate family. Allow life to do what it will do. Along the way, place God next to you. Let him guide you along. When, we don't know. But if you put him along you, he will guide you along. Make friends. Make friends.
Okay.
Make friends. Communicate with friends.
As in, communicate with friends back home while you're here.
If those who are here, make friends. And for those Ugandan who are here in the UK, if that's what you meant, they are needed now more than ever. They are needed. Needed because they have a lot to offer. A lot to offer. I'm not talking about money necessarily. Money is the last on my list.
Okay.
I'm talking about that being, that human being, appearance and presence. And the people on the ground have a lot to air out. But they need to air out to somebody, or to someone, or to some people. We must be that. That person that should. So we have to offer ourselves. And if we can, the real serious advice is go home and visit. Take that time, take that holiday, go home and visit. Don't expect much from what you'll be seeing, but take your body there. Go there with an open mind to say, look, fine, this is where I want to revisit, and have an open mind. When you have an open mind and are not so strict with time, you will see a lot more. Don't fear. Don't fear. Don't fear. You may lose some small money here and there, but that loss is not a big loss. It's a minimal loss. It's a small risk to take. And not forgetting, we are getting old. So let's go home and visit. Home. Let's be part of the change that needs to be happening now. If we wait later, no good. Now is the time. And if you come to tax center, I am willing, because I travel between the 2 countries. I could do stuff. I could expose. I could talk about. I could link if need be. As simple as I look, but I know what I'm trying to achieve, and I can link that gap. I can join that gap. Because most people here fear. They fear because the system have changed quite a lot. They think people lie all the time, but people lie everywhere. They think people always want money all the time. Who doesn't want money? They think people are not truthful. Corruption is everywhere. Just done differently. There in Uganda, at least you could see it.
It's true.
It is broad daylight robbery. No. Let's agree. But not this like you have your subtle manner, you get a letter on your box, say you got a fine, you got the council tax, bailiffs.
Fair. That is fair.
Advice I can give to those Ugandans who wants to come here, and explore. Okay. But don't say UK has better life. No, it does not. If you just want to come to settle here, yeah, if you have the money and you feel, but don't come because you feel you got better life. life here is not better. Africa has much, much more better life. I can tell you that. For those who do not know it, you have not been to the right places. But Africa is big, you know. I can talk about northern part of Uganda. Wonderful, exquisitely wonderful.
Okay, so come if you want to explore, yes.
Oh,
but know that it
yes.
isn't better.
Do not stay in Kampala. Don't go to Jinja. Don't go to Kabale. Don't go to. Come to Gulu, to tax center, because that's where the brain is. This one, yes, is there. I could take you around. Be serious, yes. Come there. I will personally show you what you don't see if you pay a touring guide or whatnot. And that's what I'm trying to flip. That I've lived here for 30 years in England, but now I'm back home there. I know it, and I know what I'm talking about. I've been going back since 2000. Some year I go 4 times a year. Now I do it like 3 times a year. I'm free to go between the two, back and forth. But right now I'm in London. Ooh, today I was just... Thank you for the invitation.
Very good. But thank you so much for speaking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I much appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing your story, your history,
You're
and
welcome.
telling us so many things that are so important to you, but also important for Ugandan culture and history as well. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions for Uncle David, for me, please message and let me know. If you would like to be on this YouTube channel, please also let me know. That would be amazing to have you on here. So this is NorSpeaksOut. Thank you again for watching. Uncle David has spoken and shared his story, and so we're asking you, Wahura.
Wahura.
Yes, which means, are you listening? Bye guys.